The Trump administration is now accusing Mahmoud Khalil of not reporting his membership in a UN agency meant to help Palestinian refugees when he applied for permanent residency. That's according to a New York Times report. The paper also reports Khalil's lawyers responded, calling the accusations weak and pretextual. They also said that adding those allegations shows the government's, quote, motivation from the start was to retaliate against Mr. Khalil for his protected speech, end quote. We're also hearing more from the wife of the pro-Palestinian protester detained by ICE for his role in last year's anti-war protests at Columbia University. Michael George is here with me in Studio 57 with more on Noor Abdalla's first TV interview. Good morning, Michael.
Errol, good morning. So Abdalla sat down with our Erin Moriarty, and they discussed the moment Khalil was taken from their home here in New York City.
And he was like, "Are you Mahmoud Khalil?" Mahmoud said yes, and the man said, "We're with the police, you have to come with us."
What's going through your mind at that point?
I was scared. I was terrified.
And Moriarty also asked Abdalla to respond to comments by the White House press secretary. Earlier this month at a briefing, Caroline Leavitt accused Khalil of distributing, quote, pro-Hamas propaganda.
Is Mahmoud pro-Hamas?
These are accusations that the Trump administration keeps pushing on him.
But what do you say to those?
I think it's ridiculous. It's disgusting that that's what they're resorting to, that's the tactic that they're using to make him look like this person that he's not. Literally, it's so simple. He just does not want his people to be murdered and killed. He doesn't want to see little kids' limbs being blown off, you know?
Now, Khalil is a U.S. resident and has a green card. He hasn't been charged with any crimes, and the government hasn't shown any evidence to back up its claims that Khalil supports terrorist groups. Khalil is being detained at a Louisiana detention center under the Immigration and Nationality Act, which allows the deportation of non-citizens who pose, quote, potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S. CBS News has asked the State Department and DHS for comment. We haven't heard back. Now, a Rasmussen poll that came out last Thursday found 45% of likely U.S. voters believe Khalil should be deported. And his wife, a U.S. citizen, says she's now answering questions she feels are unfair.
It gets offensive when you're constantly having to say, I'm not this, I'm not this. It kind of brought back a lot of things that I experienced growing up in the United States. In New York the other day, me and my husband were walking and someone said, called me a terrorist. So it's like constantly throughout my whole life, and I think most Muslims in this country can relate to that. It doesn't matter what I say, that's what they think of me.
Now, Abdalla is pregnant and due next month. She told Erin that before Khalil's arrest, they had set up a nursery for the baby, bought clothes, and that Khalil was excited to be a father. Now, Erin Abdalla says she hasn't seen her husband since his arrest.
Michael, thank you for that. And you can watch Erin Moriarty's full piece by streaming CBS Sunday Morning on the CBS News app or on Paramount+.